Today is Billionaires Breakfast Fellowship. I've said this like 1 million times. Okay. Okay, so let me just dive into it. Okay. I'll be a bit fast or slow, whichever the time is. Pastor EY said something. He said, sorry, I'm coming back to Pastor EY. Before you go and think another day that anytime Lekan is preaching, it won't be the one. Then welcome. So he said something that every one of us got billions. But you didn't specify the currency. I know some of you might be like me that did hamster. We were billionaires. As in, it was so sweet that I was already planning to the third generation that, okay, first generation, they will be living in Banana Island. Second generation, they will be well settled. Well, I don't know what you have in your own account, but I know Pastor EY has a lot. He is a billionaire. So when you are praying for the billions, please specify the currency you want the billions, because a billion hamster is just like, that should be like maybe $5. And you did it too? Hey, the Lord is good. So everybody in this church did. If you did hamster, say hi. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Okay, so my fellow Amsterdamians and my fellow billionaires, so let's even make ourselves happy. So we are all billionaires, either on Hamster, in Naira, in dollars per year, billionaires. Okay. So in that light, my fellow billionaires, today we are having a conversation on billionaires. So it was difficult for me to get a title for this slide, and if you really pay attention a lot to the way I teach, you will notice that I just had to form something. So I was unable to get a topic, but I was able to put it in focus or lenses. I think I have 5 or 6 things I want to talk about. So the first thing is introduction. The second guy is assumption. The third is planning. I think the fourth is delayed gratification. 5 is faith, and the last, conclusion and summary. I can't remember if I separated it or somewhere. Oh, is it there? Share this slide, Benny. I want to continue. Sorry, please let me delete that French. So I said introduction, assumption, plan. Don't tell me what I put there. How you doing? Planning, delayed gratification, faith, conclusion, and summary, or whichever one. I think I summed it up to one. So I'll start with the introduction, and I might not be able to get the exact word I use, but what I wrote down there is the economic situation of, so I'm working based on, so when you're doing some sort of analysis or you're doing a project, you pick your scope and say this is where you want to base your analysis on. So the analysis again is, I'm still in Nigeria, I've not traveled out. So it's based on Nigeria as a country. So I said, pardon me to use this. The economic situation in the country is one that is rapidly evolving at a pace that is becoming too difficult to match for the entire populace. This had led to a lot of businesses to readjust, and to be able to meet their business objective. So that's a lot of story in one sentence. What am I trying to say there is, because of the fact that when you wake up today, you might meet $80 as 100 naira. When you wake up the next morning, you're meeting that 500 naira. When you wake up the third morning, still within the space of 1 week, it's not following what I will call textbook economics. And the genesis of all our problem is that economics boy, that Sabi man, that said they're using limited resources to chase unlimited need or wants. So when you look at it that way, that is, the need or what you need to use these resources for are always going to be more than what the resources you have available. So it becomes a rat chase. You're chasing what you're not meant to be chasing. So that's where we've all, so and again, economics will advise you it's okay. When supply is low, increase price. When demand is high, increase price. So, but if you use that same thing in Nigeria, you might end up going bankrupt, because 100% it doesn't really work that way in the country. So you need to at least adjust, readjust, change your focus almost every time. So then I think that leads us into what I have as an assumption. Okay. So my assumptions here is just to, when you are doing, I study statistics, so at every point in time when you want to make, let's say you're doing a t-test or whatever test you want to test, you have assumptions. Those are like your guidelines. This is what you're assuming to be true. You might be right, you might be wrong, but you at least have those assumptions. So, as my fellow billionaires and audience, these are the assumptions I have. Number one, very important, you have a source of income. So if you are not doing anything, and Pastor said it last week, you have to be a value-adding person to at least make money. So this teaching is, maybe today, it's not for you if you don't have what brings money. So I'm not saying source of income, as I use the word source of income, I'm not saying you are employed. Source of income might be, you might be the one rendering service, and somebody's paying you. It could be, you are the one even employing people. It might be like a middleman. Buy from this one, sell to this guy. Arbitrage marketing, but at least you have something that you exchange or you trade for value, that you trade to get money. So that's what I have there. Number two again is you have an open mind. Why I had to put that is, if I tell you today now that, okay, come and give me your money, a lot of you will not want to even give me your money because you'll be like, why do I want to collect your money? So but at least, please, because what I'm saying it now is, in case I ask you at the end that, please come and dash me money. Please be open-minded. Don't close your mind. Like, I'm not saying you should follow me end to end, but just open your mind. But if I ask you for money, the Lord bless you, give it to me. So number three is, you're not looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. I was telling Pastor AY before we started that it's part of the people I have there as assumption. He was asking me that after today, he would have 1 billion. I said, okay. Like I said here, you are not looking for a get-rich-quick scheme because I don't have it. I cannot promise you that once you leave this place, 10 billion is waiting for you somewhere. So we just have those assumptions that this is what I'm basing my analysis on. So you are not into, okay, you are not into fraudulent activities. So you are not doing fraud. You are not doing, let me not say it. You are not doing what? Yeah. Okay, you heard it. You are not doing Sogunduguji. You are not doing bring one, get 10 million. You are not doing one, get 100. That's not your plan. But if that's your plan, I'm sorry to disappoint you. So because the last thing again is you are not lazy. And when I was writing that, something came to my mind, and apologies for my non-French speakers because I speak a lot of French. So he says, Tubadishi, if you hear the Yoruba, it means the Holy Spirit interpreted it for you. But what I said is French. So because we kind of assume sometimes that, and I think it's maybe because of the kind of country we find ourselves. When you see people doing well, you believe, oh, they're hardworking. And when you see the opposite to someone else, you assume they are lazy. But in the real sense, they are not, because at least it takes a lot to even be in Nigeria. Like, it takes a lot. So you even wake up, you step out and you go back inside your house, and you do not return mad that day. So those are my assumptions. So in case, if I'm saying things and you're like, I've not heard where I will go and put 1 naira to get 1 million. Like I said, it's not a scheme that you will get money fast. It's just for us to look at the lens, and then we'll just dialogue together and we'll look at if it makes sense to us, or we just pick our own part and drop the one that is not our part if we want to do that. Okay, so we can go quickly into planning. I didn't even define planning, but I assume every other person in this church would have heard the word planning. So, but before we read the Bible verse, I wanted to look at this to see. I have a question I wanted to ask. So if I ask everyone now that, how many of us want to be a billionaire? Virtually everybody would raise their hands up. But if I ask a second or a follow-up question to say, how do you plan to be a billionaire? You say that will take like 10 hours to answer that question. Because we excuse the fact of, or the part of planning. We just know, this is my end goal. I want to just wake up and be a billionaire one day. Okay, but how do you plan to be a billionaire? Hey, I'll just sleep. I'll wake up. Like, you don't take careful time to at least plan for that goal you have. It's easy for every one of us to have a financial goal. It's something virtually almost everybody will have. But the question is, do you have a plan towards that goal? Hold on. I'm not saying when you have a plan, you achieve it. And I'm not saying when you have a plan, you don't achieve it. But this is what I like to put it. What do you stand to lose? It's like you're trying to apply for a job. So you hear people say, I don't want to apply because I'm not qualified. My question is, what will it cost you to apply? It's not taking any money from your hand. Worst is you hear no. But at least you've missed it. If you don't apply at all, you've missed the chance of even getting a possible yes. So at least do your own plan. If it works out, the Lord is good. If it doesn't work out, no. Like the song, it's still the most high. So you change your lens to at least have a plan. So Let's read what, I think this is Jesus. I don't know where, I think it's Jesus saying, or sharing a parable, and it was like, he asked the question. So it would help me. This is Luke 14:28 to 30 message version for the people online. It says, so let's just read together. Is there anyone who poke fun at you and say start what you cannot finish? That is basically what is there. So when I actually asked us to read it, and I would prefer that you might not get the gist now, but when you're maybe a bit relaxed, think about it, take a ponder on it, and check back. So what is it saying? It says, which one among you is planning to build a house? That will not first sit down, calculate the cost, because it's easy for, and I'm not praying that will be anybody's portion, because so you don't say Lekan has swear for me. It's easy for us to start something and we don't finish, especially in this country, because things change per time. It changes even per seconds. But at least take a break, look at it end to end. What would it cost me to get this guy? What do I need to still get this guy? That is what this guy is trying to say. So he says, because he said you would lay the foundation quite all right. At least you started the adventure or the business venture. The foundation is there. Maybe this morning you already started, okay, 2.4. But you not calculate, will I say be a going concern? I think in accounting they say a business is a business if it's always a going concern. So, and that's the scope of saying if you are year in, year out, if you are not making profits, guy, your going concern might not be going anymore. So you need to continue to be a going concern. So he's saying if you only get the foundation laid and then you run out of money, you're going to look pretty foolish. I'm not the one that said that, and apologies if it sounds hurtful. Everyone passing by will poke fun at you. He started something he couldn't finish. So what am I trying to say here? Whatever it is they're trying to do, whatever your goal is, please have a plan. Carefully sit down, analyze, look at what my hand is meant to be. You could do a reverse engineering. Okay, paint a picture. Oh, I want to have 5 houses by age, so, and so. You ask the question, what are the things that I need to start doing to get to that destination? You just have a plan. And even when we're in school then, the way our senior colleague would tell us is plan to have an A. I don't know if it actually happened that way. So when you plan to have an A, even if you don't get the A, you land on the B. But when you don't even plan at all, it will surprise you that you conveniently have the F. So it helps to at least shift your mindset to, and again, where Pastor was also say it, whatever is not true in your mind will not come into reality. So when you, at the point of planning, it helps you, this is how I used to joke about it. So you can become a billionaire at your seat, and there will be nothing, and nobody can stop you. So imagine I just close my eye and I'm like, okay, let me think like a Femi Otedola. Nobody, in my head I'm traveling, but I've not actually put in any money. So it's easier for me to just travel. There's no barricade, there's no barrier in my own mind. I'm just flying. Okay, today I fly a private jet. Tomorrow, I'm doing a chopper. Next tomorrow, okay, I drove in. So those kind of, it helps your mind too indirectly because it gives you that, like the way I was saying when I wanted to start that, I needed to calm myself, I was joking. So it gives your mind that rest, and it helps you. So the energy I meant to use or to put into the venture, because you're already stressed out, it's more like you're trying to apply more pressure on a wear out engine. So you would have a relaxed and cool mind to achieve most of those goals. So help me tell your neighbor, please plan. So we can close. Like I said, tell your neighbor, please plan. Are you planning? So please, let's have a plan. So when you get back home, if your plan is to be a billionaire, because again, some of us like the humble states. It's because I might just be like, I don't want to be too loud. I don't want my neighbors to know that I am here. You just want to be on your own. But whatever it is that's your plan, you just, or your goal, have a plan towards it.
Hello, partners. Thank you for your generous giving. Your giving has helped us, impact our world, impact our community, do many things that God has laid in our heart. Take the message to reach people globally. Thank you so much. And I want to call and encourage you to partner, support, and give to us as we take the message further. We have a plan and a vision to reach between 500,000 or a million people on a weekly basis. And with your generous donation and giving, we will be able to. So if you love to partner with us, you've been blessed by this ministry, the details are on the screen. Blessings.
Then I think the second thing, or the next slide, is delayed gratification, now or later. So before we move into the next, I think almost everybody would have heard the word delayed gratification. What does it mean? How do you do it? I mean, what is the importance of delayed gratification? Okay, I still have time. I'm ready. So delayed gratification is just basically, in the next slide, is calling. So I like the way this English, or this definition is. It says, delayed gratification is basically the process of resisting temptation of an immediate reward in preference for a later reward. So I think when I was just doing a background check on the whole slide, I look at this thing again. Do you notice that there's something common in the definition, reward? So there's a reward in the now, and there's a reward also in the later. So it's just saying that you are picking the later reward over the immediate reward. So it means you can do the both. So it's just a choice of you saying, do I want the reward now, or I'll prefer the reward later? So there's a caveat again. And so sorry to divert a bit. You know, it's easy for, and I know, so let me, okay, it will never hear. So when I was in school, there's a joke me and my roommates used to make after we finished cooking. You know, when okay, maybe not everybody, but some of us that we came from a very humble background. You know, there's a period in school where we call Ikbenyi, like, you're almost close to everything is finishing. You know, when you just wake up and your gas decided to finish at the same day, that's the day you notice that you don't have any oil. The same day you don't have any Maggi, and you're like, all the signs are there that just go home. You are done in this school. So most times when we have, like, you're trying to be poor, maybe you just go back from school or from home, you have all the money in your account. You just cook very good soup, all the meat, or the chicken, or the fish. You know, normally, you just eat one portion and you leave the rest for the next day. My mom used to just be like, let's kukuma just continue in the light. So that's where we would definitely get the reward in the now, or it's just a matter of a discipline of saying, okay, I want the reward for, because what if you now wake up tomorrow morning? What would you eat? Because it's good if you do not wake up, Abby. But when you now wake up, so, because if you do not wake up, you have nothing to lose. But when you wake up, and again, it's also painful. So imagine, this is an extreme. That I said I'm digressing a bit. Imagine you had kept the soup that I'll wake up tomorrow. And then, like the foolish man in the Bible, you did not now wake up. So, like I said, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm only trying to help you understand the two sides. So, there's reward in the both sides. So, I think for us as young adults, I think most of us, but I think it's better you start planning for children and extended family, or children and children. Now, because it's easier when you start now than when you're waiting like, I never should I go get married. Why I stress myself? You are eating everything. And you know, people think it's you that you don't even plan for that marriage. I don't know how I end up being married. People that have planned that by 22nd I'll be married, by Kinecon I'll be shaking it. You just be playing. So that's how it works. So you need to carefully analyze. Do you want the reward for now, or you prefer a later reward? So for maybe us as young adults that are not married, you might prefer an immediate reward. Right? Since tomorrow is still a bit far, I can chill. But for the married couples, if you notice, most of them nowadays, the only thing they think about is the children, how I use this old school. Guy, you know, get shirts. Don't worry. The shirt is this child. So that's how the delayed gratification works. I think the next slide has faith. So faith, like I know everybody in the church would even know what faith means. Faith, as I think I would prefer pastor's definition, but I didn't even include it. Apologies. It says it's your positive response to what God has made available to you by grace. Okay. So I use this definition. Faith is a belief in something or someone. Someone or something, yeah. It's a complete trust or confidence. So you know you have trust in something, or you put your whole confidence into something. More like you would also analyze to say, what gives the assurance that the chair you're sitting on will carry you? Just you have a bit of faith to say, okay, this chair will carry me, you're sitting now. What if you sit and it breaks? So that's the way faith works. So how does it relate to our finance? Like, how does she back up? So let's look at this. Okay, so this one is hard to read. I think I'll prefer you guys reading it yourself. But it's tiny, Abby. Thank God for God. Thank God. It's good that it's tiny. So let's open our Bible. Proverbs level 24 to 26. I know I'm asking us to read it, so that you will not come back and say it's Lekan that asked you to do something. Proverbs 11, 24 to 26. I have amplified here. Okay.
Of blessing, and shall be prosperous and enriched. And he who waters will himself be watered, reaping the generosity he has sown. The people curse him who holds back grain when the public needs it, but a blessing from God and man is upon the head of him who sells it.
Okay, thank you, sir. So basically, that's faith in action. So I think the first time I saw this thing in the Bible, I was like, it doesn't make sense to me. How would you tell me when I save my money, or because in my own sense, I'm saving that money, I end up being in want and poverty. But when I just tell myself to la vida loca, giving everybody, I have more. So it's not making sense in my head. And I think the only way to look at it is faith. In the sense that, so when we look at things to say, I have just 10, you are just holding on to that 10. You don't even want to let go of, let's say even 2 out of that 10. You don't even consider your immediate neighbor. I think there's even a part where he also said, when a man when his neighbor needs something, tells him, come back the next day. So it begins to look like, but that is what virtually everyone in Nigeria does. Because it's not our fault. We are giving birth into a country that it only makes sense for you to at least plan for. But there's something I actually look at it to say. So it makes it look like you are relying on your own individual strengths. You're looking at it to say, the reason I'm saving for tomorrow is because I know I'm the one that will provide for my tomorrow. So, but when you let it go, you are submitting the provision to God. So that's just the small thing there that says, this guy is looking louder. Below there. Is looking louder, or is it me? Okay. So it is the submission to God that actually provides the provision. So even if you're like, I want to hold on to the 10 I have, I want to hold on to the 20 I have because I'm not sure of what tomorrow will bring or what tomorrow will look like, it makes more sense to at least let it go and it will come back. So before I move to the next thing, like I said, it's a very short one. I want to do a bit of a recap. So I said plan. I said delayed calculation, and I know I said faith. So there is an extreme to the two sides. So I was even telling Pastor this morning, the initial plan is, I know almost everybody will know the story. The story of when God was feeding the children of Israel in the desert with manna and, everyone knows it. Now there was something that looks like what we all do in this country that we just don't see there. He told them, no one should keep this manna till the next day. It is meant to be consumed that day. But I know our ancestors were there. So they felt, okay, let's keep for tomorrow. So when you look at it, they kept it for tomorrow, quite all right. But when they got back there tomorrow, they couldn't eat it. Because it was more of, put your complete trust in me. Leave what your tomorrow will look like. I would cater for it. But because, I don't know, it's not, that's why I don't want to say I'm advising to do this way. It's because of the situation we found ourselves. Because it only makes sense for you. Because even if you don't have something planned for your tomorrow, it's still the same me that would abuse that. What were you doing when you could have kept something? So the way they will say that, if you decide to give, what the word turns you to be is what they will use to abuse you tomorrow. That's what it means. So if you're like, I want to give everybody, I want to keep giving. When you end up not having in the future, they will still be the same person asking that, guy, you were in oil and gas. How come we don't have anything? But when you came there, Alpha, give me 1.5. I gave you. Alpha, give me 2.5. I gave you. Alpha, you did not tell me that time. Not that I don't have. You're not like, you don't have a plan. We're just giving. That's how it works. So there are extreme or edge cases. But does it now negate the fact that you shouldn't even consider those principles? I would say no. So you delayed the discussion. Like, you don't do everything for the now. Keep some for the later. Maybe not all. then have faith. Because when you look at it, say, I want to put everything for the later, you end up living for a future you might not be a part of. Because if you're like, oh, I want to keep putting, and sorry to use this, but is any one of us, maybe you've lost your dad or your mom, like me? My dad is. You know that it's painful when you realize that when you are now meant to be the one giving back, they are nowhere to be. So, but when you ask them then, why were they doing it? So am I saying you should now go and consume everything because you don't know what? Because I know I had a friend in school. He told me something that his dad would tell him. That the reason why he doesn't care or he doesn't really overdo for them is because he doesn't want to get to a future where he looks, so he begs for the child's this thing. So he's building his future like I'm sure. So he doesn't want to be like hello Lekan, hello Shuku, like he doesn't want it. So he's not even attending to them. So I'm like, he has his own reasons. Maybe his own dad too. I don't know, but you know, people, like I say, no one is crazy. Maybe at his own time, or it makes sense to him at that time. So, but when you really look at it truthfully, it might be good. Because at least I'm enjoying my life. If you decide to take care of me in the future, no problem. You like, don't take, so it's just for you to look at. So if you look at it again, what's your own goal? How do you plan towards that goal? It's not a one-size-fits-all. Choose if you want the reward for now, or you want it at a later time. And in all your doings, please have faith, because like he says, a blessing from both God and man is upon the head of him who sells it. Then in conclusion, Abi, Luke 12, 22 to 31, Message Bible. So he continued in the subject with his disciples. Don't fuse about what's on the table at mealtime, or if the clothes in your closet are in fashion. There is far more to your inner life than the food you put in your stomach. More to your outer appearance than the clothes you hang on your body. Look at the ravens, free and unfettered, not tied to a job description. There's a reason why I actually like Message Bible. It relates it to your today's English, not their own English. So he said, this guy is not tied to a job description, because if we ask most of us, why are you working? To make ends meet. So this guy is not having a job description. He's carefree and in the care of God. And you count far more. Has anyone, by fusing about the mirror, before the mirror, even gotten taller by so much as an inch? If fusing can't do that, why fuse at all? God save Femi. Because when I read this thing, I was like, have you guys seen Femi? Okay, thank God. Victoria is here. Have you guys seen Victoria? Do you know she looks at the mirror almost every day? Has she ever gotten an inch taller? No. So, if they cannot do that, even by looking at it, walk into the fuse and look at the wildflowers. They don't fuse with their appearance. But have you ever seen colors and design quite like it? The 10 best dressed men in the country look shabby alongside them. If God gives such attention to the wildflower, most of them never sin. Don't you even think he would attend to you, take pride in you, and do his best for you? Hold on. There's something that actually caught my attention here. Maybe it's just me. Who has seen wildflower before? Nobody. You have? You have? Me, I have not. So if it's this beautiful and at least we've not at least paid attention to looking at it, how much more you and I that were created in his own image? Then look at what he concluded to say. What I'm trying to do here is get you to relax. Don't be so preoccupied with getting so you can respond to God's giving. People who don't know God and the way he works fuse over this thing, but you know both God and how he works. Steep yourself in God's reality, God's initiative, God's provisions. You will find your everyday human concern will be met. Don't be afraid of missing out, my friend, my dearest friend. The Father wants to give you the very kingdom itself. So, Lakoton. So, he says, in summary, I still understand English a bit. When you do your planning, you check in between, do you want the reward for now, or you prefer it as a later reward? Because the both, they are both rewarding. So you choose where you want your reward to be. But the most important of it all is put your complete trust in God. Have faith in God. My fellow billionaires in Amsterdam and in reality, I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince and not to confuse you that what? Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for coming to church.
Thank you for being part of our YouTube channel. I hope you were blessed by that powerful teaching. I want you to stay connected to us by following us on all our social media platforms. The details are there. I need you to subscribe as well and share this link to your friend. Let them join and be blessed. Also, I would like to have you in our physical location. If you're based in Lagos, try and join us this Sunday. You will be super blessed. Before we go, I'd like to give you an opportunity to start a relationship with Jesus if you don't have a relationship with Jesus. So can you please place your right hand on your chest and pray this simple prayer with me. Say, dear Lord, I repent of my sin. I acknowledge you as my Lord and personal Savior. Thank you for dying for me, and thank you for accepting me into your family. In Jesus' name. If you have said that prayer, I can tell you that you are saved, you're born again, and welcome to God's family. There is a link on the screen. We'd like you to fill that link. We want to know more about you and get your details. And of course, this Sunday, we're looking forward to seeing you. Till we see you again on this channel, keep what? Stay blessed. Yes. Stay blessed. Yeah, stay blessed. Blessings. See you next time.